to understand how to build and maintain working relationships with professionals from other disciplines. And
Okay.
in your assessment, we would expect that you should be able to analyze roles and responsibilities of key professional disciplines and
Mm,
relevant to a specific role. Okay. And then
okay.
1.2, you should be able to analyze the skills and techniques required to build cross-disciplinary working relationships. We had this a bit of these discussions in your previous level four. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So let's go into the nitty-gritties of the lecture then. So bear with me. Uh, learning outcome one, and then we take it from there. So that's it. Okay. How are you and the family anyway?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. So as I clearly indicated, um, oh, recording on. We have to understand how to build and lead the multidisciplinary teams to achieve an integrated service delivery for stakeholders. I remember in your previous lectures, there was a bit of mentioning um, with the word multidisciplinary, where um, the need for various professionals to work together, especially when there is a report or an allegations made. It could be safeguarding or it could be any other thing within the healthcare. So um, it is a combination of involving several academic disciplines or professionals in their specialities in an approach to a topic or a problem. Example,
Mm,
combining of one discipline or field of study. An interdisciplinary treatment requires a multidisciplinary approach involves physicians, nutrition, psychologists, trainers, and gynecologists. I will give a clear example is that um, even in the UK, should there be an issue raised against a parent not treating their children or an issue of safeguarding in the care home or wherever, many a times you will normally see this in action, this multidisciplinary thing that is being mentioned, because such um, reports of safeguarding concern would involve the council social workers one day, please say there. Are you there?
yes, I am. Just muted.
Yeah. So when there's an allegation in a care home or in a school, you normally see this multidisciplinary teams working together. One common example is when there's a safeguarding issue against a parent or a safeguarding or abuse. There will be a social worker involved from the council. There will be a police involved, isn't it? There will be different professionals working together to achieve, and this is what we call multidisciplinary teams. Okay,
Yes.
right. So it is very crucial, and normally in the healthcare sector, it's very important that we understand. So in this topic, it says it is promoted as a means to enable practitioners and other professionals in health and social care to collaborate successfully. That's the key. To successfully in relation to what? When there are safeguarding issues, when there are um, complaints made, which is a serious matter. These are all areas that people have to come together, social work come together. If they need be for police to be involved, the police will have to come together. If there need be for the safeguarding team, adult safeguarding team to be involved, they will have to involve all. If it's a child safeguarding team, they have to be involved. For instance, when there's a family that are going to be homeless, you know, it's a safeguarding issue. You have to involve the social service. You have to involve the early child practitioner because there are young children involved. You have to involve the council homeless team. You get my point. So these are all team of um, Are you there, Presidia? Are you
Yes, I
there?
am.
Okay.
Yep.
So they work together to achieve a common goal. That's what we call a multidisciplinary team. What then will be the key professionals in the multidisciplinary? So I've just mentioned social workers, very, very important, counselors, team leaders, care workers. These are all people who form part of um, safeguarding concerns. Registered nurse, we all know, occupational therapists, care coordinators, counselors. These are all people that, so they can be support roles, it could be the level roles, it could be welfare rights officers, nursing associates. So all these form key parts of the multidisciplinary teams. Now, multidisciplinary teams have been shown to be an effective tool to facilitate collaboration. Yes, I've said that about it already. Successful working requires a minimum of identifying manager. Yes, we all know a coordinator to coordinate this sharing of information. The teams do not necessarily need to be located in the same premises to work successfully. It is true. You may have a social worker in one place, you may have a registered nurse in another place, but emails and sharing of information can be well coordinated to achieve this common goal. And then multidisciplinary working can be approached in more than one way, as the case studies in this briefing. This, of course, is not one particular way, but it could be achieved in different formats and different ways for the same purposes as well. Okay. Ongoing integrated care development should provide further evidence to enable us understand how MTD should be used in the future. So those are talking about research background within the MDTS so that evidence can be provided. And so this calls for reviews when there are much diagnostic made or much improvement made or much case made. It says that we should provide further evidence to enable us to understand how they should be used in the future. This leads to us to the next tax, which is 2.1. And in 2.1, the learner should be able to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of multidisciplinary teams for integrated service delivery. As I've clearly indicated, the multidisciplinary working requires mutual understanding between professionals as well as good attitudes of the team members. Integrated service delivery, what it means is what it means. Let's watch this video, okay?
Okay.
Delivery integrated care multidisciplinary. So let's see if we can watch this video. I'll find the link and get that for you. Versity on your WhatsApp. There's no video on the screen, but I have to watch. I get the video for you. Okay, so let's move on to that. So one, MDTS, what do? Their benefit. It gives a patient access to an entire team of experts. True, because the teams are working collaboratively. The patient is able to have full access to this team because they all can together to achieve one common for the patient. So the patient have a spectrum of access to all these specialists or professionals. When a multidisciplinary team is formed, bear in mind the multidisciplinary team is not a stagnant team that is formed sitting there. It's only when there's a report or there's an issue that needs to be dealt with, then the teams are formed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. When a multidisciplinary team is formed, it allows a patient to receive collaborative support from a wide range of experts. Each person contributes from their own perspective, which can then enhance the treatments which are offered by others. This process works to ensure that every patient is given access to the best possible treatment options that are currently available. Very important. Two, what does it do? It improves service coordination, which is very key. And although these are greater time commitments involved for members of an MDT, there are greater efficiencies offered to the patient because the services are coordinated together, which is very key. There's a framework of uniformity provided to each patient that improves treatment delivery. Even if some members of the multidisciplinary are halfway around from the patient, the communication that happens is structured. Very, very important. Very, very, very important. Effective communication. And then the third point is that it expedites the referral process is very key. It expedites it. The teams are often composed of specialists in their specific field of practice or expertise. That means a patient must receive a referral for a specific treatment, but already have access to the people who need to make that happen. Very important, because normally or ideally we have to refer to see a patient, but these are the to refer to see a specialist. But this multidisciplinary team consists of those specialists. So there is a faster way, a quicker way for you to receive treatment or for your issues to be dealt with. Okay. Then let's look at point 4. It creates new avenues for service implementation. Very, very key. Because it expedites the way of doing things. It therefore creates the avenues of service implementation. One of the best reasons why is that it provides a patient with access to resources from multiple departments and organizations. What may be impossible for one organization to provide to offer could be accomplished with small resources from multiple sources are combined together. An MDT team would often be granted the authority to pool these resources, provide immediate care whenever it's necessary. It all talks about how critical these things are attended to. Okay, because you have specialists dealing with your issues, and therefore it's those specialists are able to get you the needed resources at the earliest possible time. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any question?
No, I understand.
Okay, so let's proceed on. So let's look at let's say the 5th point we can look at, it allows patients to create goals for themselves. I think it is true. Why do you think so, Placidia?
For patients to create goals.
Yeah.
I think it would be for the departments to create goals for themselves.
But I think, why do you think the patient could not create goals for themselves? Because they have full access to this, to the professionals and all that. So why don't you think the patient can create? So let's see what.
I feel the goals are supposed to be more of the department trying to achieve, and the reason why they're being created. The patient is just receiving service and is just happy to be receiving all these services. Doesn't really.
Okay.
It's not a goal to be happy, is it?
True. So I think that what it means that the patient will go for themselves, because the patient will have full chance to deal with different professionals at any point of time. The patient will know that at this particular time, if it's about, for example, if it's about a housing solution, he knows that this week the social worker is the one who I have to call to work on. The next week he knows it will be exactly, it will be maybe the homeless department have to do it the next week. So I think that's what. So let's read something. It says it allows the team to engage with the goals, holding themselves and the patient accountable to the desired outcome. It also gives the MDT a chance to encourage family participation with the goals, which can improve care coordination, even reduce inpatient stays in some situations. Although there may be personality conflict to manage, most patients see more progress with MDT than without one. I think it makes sense. And your point, you also.
Yeah, that means it's not the patient creating goals. It's just aligning his, anticipation with the
It
goals of
does.
the.
It has both sides. So the MDT team offers a patient a chance to set daily, weekly, and monthly yearly goals for themselves. You understand?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it works both sides. The goals, and if you are read it carefully, you realize the goals goes both sides. You understand?
Yeah,
you are
both
right.
sides. Yeah.
You are right on your side that it is there. But also the patient also has the chance to also create goals for themselves as well. What then would there be? I think it's time consuming. Disadvantage. It's always time pressure for me. I think it's time consuming. So very well because you are dealing with different professionals, and it takes time. For instance, if a mother is going to be homeless, it takes time for the council to get you a proper place, even in Manchester. You understand me? It takes time, yeah, because so many disciplines, professionals you have to deal with. It's not straightforward. They have to assess you, a social worker have to come and assess you, how important, how priority is your situation, because there are different priorities for every family. You know what I mean? So yours may not be too much a need than somebody, So the social worker come and assess you. If it's a child involved, the early child practitioner will have to come and assess you before they will then refer you to the homeless department of the council. The homeless department of the council will have to assess you and see how emergency your situation is. And then they can also refer you either to a temporary accommodation. You get my point. So it's very involved when it comes to the multi-disciplinary situation. Okay. Sometimes the police have to be involved. If they involve a husband and wife who have some fight, the police have to involve and stop the husband from coming around. A lot of things. You laugh.
Now they can't settle again. That's the problem. Once the police is involved, they can't just settle and say we are not fighting again.
I know.
She say, "Do you love me?" I tell her,
"Oh, don't mind me."
Yeah. So it's time consuming. Then let's go on to the second one. It said different team members come from unique background. Of course, there will be some bit of cohesion and stuff because different specialities and all that. So let's read something. It says the MTD team succeeds when there's similarity in member backgrounds and educational experiences. The reality of the modern team is that you get a wide mix of people. Some just starting their careers, which is true, while others are beginning to finish their DS. Pensioners. Different jobs happens on different schedule as well, which creates challenges when trying to provide a service. Then there is an issue of psychiatrists not necessarily knowing what a social worker does. I hope you understand where it's coming from. Okay, so different discipline, different professionals. So, and because of that, there may be conflict of understanding sometimes because the psychiatrist might say that, oh, I'm going to refer you to this, and this might say, I'll have to refer you to the physiotherapist. Even I had a car accident 3 years ago, and I wanted to claim insurance. The process that we have to go through even till date is not been completed. You understand me? Yeah, because I have to refer to A&E, you have to refer me to a doctor. Doctor will have to assess me. The doctor have to assess me and send me to a physiotherapy or psychiatrist and based on my injury situation, and then before it could be assessed. So I mean, it's a long process. So sometimes there's conflict of information, and the career backgrounds are different as well. And then the third one, it requires frequent collaboration to be effective. Of course, there should be enough room for collaboration. If there is no collaboration among the multidisciplinary team, there won't be any effectiveness. For most people, there's a lot of time that they are forced to take out for their day. Although some time can be saved by having each person offer information on specific time, then review notes of entire meeting later. A large MBT meeting might last 2 to 3 hours. So it takes time, and therefore, sometimes you may not have everybody present at all times. And the fourth one is that it is dependent upon available resources. Very key. That means that it may not be possible for all the recommendation of the team to be implemented at the same time. In that kind of circumstances, the treatment which take top priority would be implemented first, forcing other members of team to attend meetings, even though they are not playing an active role, which is key, very important. So their services may not be needed at one particular time, but they will have to come for meetings and all that. But maybe at that stage, it may only be the physiotherapy that is needed. But psychiatrists are coming for meetings, and also you can understand where the process. And then lastly, incomplete decisions happen without complete information. Of course, they may have several meetings and it may amount to nothing. They may still not address the issue completely. That's what it means because of bureaucracies, information gathering here and there. Sometimes some may be busy and all that. So that's what it means. Without this information, the decisions that the team makes will be unable to maximize the potential benefits that the patient may need. You say the MDTs work best when everyone present is working within a defined role on the patient's behalf. To create these roles, there must be complete information access. Understand? Then let's look at integrated service delivery. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, so we would you have to think about our workplace, and let's move on. So let's pick the tax 2.1 to define integrated. Yeah. Okay. So 2.2 integrated service delivery. What this means? Think about your own place of work. How is it integrated service delivery defined? Pick up an example and discuss the tax 2.1. Okay. So we just mentioned that, and then we are moving to 2.2. Placidia, 2.2, we have to analyze the skills required to build, motivate, and lead multidisciplinary teams. Okay, so let's look at what are the key factors for successful multidisciplinary team working. What are the key factors of success? I believe, as stated here, patient-centered care, very important, physician integration, shared goals and objectives, shared information technology, and access to patient data, culture collaboration, and shared decision-making processes, co-location, geographical integration, targeting high-risk populations. And so you can read about Dr. Meredith Melvin team goals and descriptions, okay? You can read about that, where it talks about coordination, sharper plans, the strengths and styles. So you can read about that in your model. Okay. Now, what can be gained by identifying people's team roles? Why? What can be gained? It's easier to work effectively with people when you are given some expectations of their tendencies and preferences. Self and observer assessment give a greater understanding of how individual behaves in a group or situation. Okay, it's easier to work effectively with people. You can give some expectations of their tendencies and preferences. Okay, so what can be gained by identifying people's team roles? So those are things that you have to take notice of when you have to identify people's team roles. It makes the work easier and effective, and it gives greater understanding of how an individual behaves in a group session. So when you assign them, then you can know their strengths, you can know where they can perform properly and where they cannot perform properly. Do team role change? Yes, team roles develop during the course of a career. While it is unusual for someone team role profile to reverse completely, it is subject to change. Certain roles would mature as a result of experience and conscious attention, or circumstantially in response to demands of a new job or promotion, for example. So do teams change? Yeah, they do change. You might have come in as a junior to the group, but then as time goes on, you might be elevated to be the leader. So yes, what is allowable weaknesses? Sometimes strength of a particular team role has to be bought at the cost of a team role weaknesses. For example, a person whose preference role is monitor evaluator is likely to be objective, impartial, and could weigh up all possibilities to make a carefully considered decision. Yet, someone with these strengths may well come across as enthusiastic or even boring. Without team role understanding, this failure to inspire the team might be allowed to obscure the individual strength. Team role weaknesses can be comprehended as the price to be paid for the strength, and as such, they are termed allowable. Are you with me, Placidia?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you understand it?
Yes, we're looking at team strengths and weaknesses and how to identify their strengths and their weaknesses.
All right. So, and then we just spoke about the allowable. You saw that, okay?
The what?
The allowable weaknesses. Are we on the same track?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's fine. So let's look at the team role sacrifice. Why do you have? So in circumstances, an individual will need to forego using the leading or preferred team role. and adapt another in its place. It may be that there is no good example of a particular role within the team, or perhaps that another person is already contributing on common preferred ground. Such shift from a preferred behavior is known as making a team role sacrifice. Okay. Okay. In some circumstances, an individual will need to forego using the leading or preferred team role and adopt another in its place. It may be that there is no good example of particular role within the team, or perhaps that another person already is contributing on common preferred ground. So this is it. Either you want to forego your role and give to somebody else you think you perform better, so you can go to other roles. This is what we call team role sacrifice. And then we have to, when I know my strongest team role, what should I do? So when you identify that this is where you function the most, what do? You should take on and develop these roles as much as possible, because this is where you are likely to make your mark. You should always be aware of your lowest roles and find strategy to avoid having to play them. Try to work with the people with the opposite strength and weakness to your own. So when you identify your strength or your strongest team role, you then have to what? Work on it. You have to take and develop those roles. Once you are aware, you should also be aware of your lowest roles and find a way to match it up or way to work on it. Okay, those are things that we need to do in our various groups, in our various endeavors. It's like a project work. If there's a group of 5 who have been assigned to do a project work, along the discussions, you identify your strength, who is what you are good in it and what you are not good. So what you are not good in, you need to work on. Okay, so you have to explain how the multidisciplinary team effectively for integrated service. In fact, leadership effectiveness is one of the most controversial research areas in social sciences. Perspective shaping integrated care. So you have the integrated care, and you have these branches. You have the care professionals. You may have what the care provider. You may have the policy makers. You may have the regulators, which may be CQC. You may have the evaluators. You may have your manager himself. You may have the service user or the carer. And then you may have the community. Okay, so these are the perspective of shaping integrated care. 6. That's 8. 8 ways of shaping integrated care. Then there's a lead on MDT. Leading an MDT is a standard process of preparing, assessing, diagnosing, plan, treat, and evaluate, leading a multidisciplinary committee. These are key things that you should be able to prepare, you should be able to assess, you should be able to diagnose, you should be able to plan, treat, and evaluate. Okay. Now, while illustrating using a patient care cycle, the 6 phases process, the 6-phase process is the same as the generic improvement cycle plan. Do, study, act, and give clinical staff a structured approach to improving clinical area processes that is very similar to the care cycle you are familiar with. I said, I hope you are with me.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. It is a clinical process of continuous improvement. So he's telling you that by planning, diagnosing, evaluating, and all that, it is a process that embodies continuous improvement. Okay. Okay, then we have to read the article to understand each of the 6 phases. So that you can read about. The link is there. You can read about it. So you have the prepare, assess, diagnostic, evaluate, treat, and plan. Okay, you need to know about. So say prepare to decide who to be involved, to assess, to review, to diagnose it, to identify how the MDT is working could be improved, to plan, to prioritize what you should want to change or plan new processes, 3, to determine the test period, run the new processes, and then lastly, evaluate analyze the information given to you. Very important. And then the references are below present here. You have all the references behind in Harvard style that you can go through and read about. So you can read on the Orchidea model, ebooks and journals. Any queries you can WhatsApp on the group, or you can send an email to us. And then also your assignment is 2 weeks from today.
It's not 2 weeks from today. It's 2 weeks from when the learning outcome finishes.
No, the learning outcome, you mean the whole, you mean the whole, what do you finish the whole units, isn't it?
Don't mind me. I'm just joking. It's fine. I've already started working on it anyway.
I know you're intelligent. So I know you already started. So if you have any questions, I'll share this on the WhatsApp group as well. If there's any link I've not shared, then you can find on your student model.
The only thing, did you do the recording yesterday?
No, I'll do it today.
Oh, I thought
it's the same lecture. That's why I'm repeating it again. It's the same time lecture today.
But this is LO2, not LOL, not LO1.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Don't know what you
5.1. LO2.
Yeah, it's O2.
It's supposed to be LO1. So then tomorrow I'll do the LO1. Okay. Hey, sorry. When is the next lecture? Is it tomorrow?
Supposed to be the
Monday.
Is it Monday?
The next lecture. I frankly, this is my mistake. I thought I've chosen LO1 because yesterday we couldn't. Yeah. So the next lecture I'm going to have with you, I'm going to do the LO1. Okay.
Okay.
Even though I know you have started. Yeah. Even though I know you have started your assignment.
14 is on the 14th. That's next Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday.
Next Thursday, Friday, yes, Thursday. So I'll do the LO1 the next time we meet. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Versity. Take care. How the kids
But
doing?
sorry, they're fine. Could you just WhatsApp me the ones you have existing right now so I can just start?
You mean the LO2?
Yeah, for the whole learning outcome. I can just listen to them and before the lectures.
You mean the one we may have already for this particular?
Yeah, the ones you have already. Yeah, I can listen to them.
I'll look for them and send to you. Okay. I'll look for them and send it to you. Okay. Sometimes sometimes the old ones may not be fashionable because there's always review of the learning outcomes. You understand? But I wouldn't body.
Yeah,
so I'll check.
But the thing is, because I've started working on it, if I have the learning out the videos, I can listen to them. Okay. Start working on them. Then by the time I take the lecture, I can make corrections before I just submit.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll do. All right. Other than that, I don't mind even tomorrow. I can take you through the learning outcome one. I don't mind.
It's fine as far as it's not 12 o'clock. I've got an appointment.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe we can do something in the morning. Okay.
Yes, in the morning will be fine.
I'll give you a thumbs up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Come on, Dad. Bye-bye.
Bye.